We will continue here the commercial mechanical inspector exam course, this course for getting the certification of mechanical inspector. We are now in module 12, heating appliances, recommending time study 120 minutes. International Mechanical Code 2021 is the required reference, chapter 3 and 9. International Fuel Gas Code 2021, chapter 3 and 9. Heating appliances. Illustration 12a, heating. Many regulations surround a number of heating appliances. Here in module 12, we will cover this. We will also cover the hydraulic piping requirements for supplying heating appliances, which overlap some with the previous module. International Mechanical Code Chapter 9, specific appliances. Okay, fireplaces and solid fuel burning equipment.
IMC Chapter 9 Specific Appliances, Fireplaces, and Solid Fuel Burning Equipment. Chapter 9 establishes minimum construction and performance criteria for fireplaces, appliances, and equipment and provides for the safe installation of these items. It reflects the ICC's intent to address all types of appliances needing to be regulated by the code. Other regulations you will find affecting the installation of solid fuel-burning fireplaces, appliances, and accessory appliances are found in chapters 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 of the IMC. IFGC Chapter 6 Specific Appliances. Chapter 6 in the IFGC addresses specific appliances. Each main section applies to a unique type of gas-fired appliance and specifies the product standards to which the appliance must be listed. The general requirements found in the previous chapters 1 through 5 also apply, and the sections in Chapter 6 add special requirements that are specific to each type of appliance.
Location, installation, and access service space. This International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 303, 304, 306. International Fuel Gas Code, this 2021, Section 303, 305, 306. Section 303 through 306 lists a lot of details and dimension for how and where appliances, especially fuel-burning appliances, can be located. In general, the following three criteria listed in order of importance summarize the requirement for the entire module. Building occupants must be kept safe from fire and combustion gas. Example, restrictions apply to sleeping room, hospital room, bathroom, storage closet, elevator shafts, and hazards location, for example. Clearance to combustible must be maintained without devices like doorstop limits, closures, etc. used to provide the clearance. Appliances must be protected from physical damage. Example number 1. Appliances in bed cannot touch soil, must have a clearance around them, and be protected from flooding. Example number 2. Appliances where there are motor vehicles must be 8 feet above the floor. Proper access must be provided to maintain and replace the appliance. See International Mechanical Code and International Gas Code, Section 306. Example, a 30-inch by 30-inch level working space is required on the control side of appliances without having to move or remove other devices or building components. Illustration 12b, Variable Air Volume VAV Terminal Units. VAV commonly used with multi-zone air handlers is showing here without the proper access or without the ability to replace or service the unit without removing permanent construction unassociated with the VV. Rooftop equipment on rooftop has have list of accessibility requirements. Let's walk through these requirements together. If climbing higher than 16 feet above grade, interior or exterior means of access is required. Think about it. When dealing with highest 16 feet above grade or greater, climbing over obstructions greater than 30 inches in height is not allowed. Also, walking on a slope greater than 4 to 12, 33% slope is not allowed. Permanent ladders, portable ladders can not be requirements to get to the equipment. Other more permanent means must be in place, such as permanent ladder. Permanent ladders is, if used, must meet the following code requirements. Here, in the illustration 12C, permanent ladder dimensional requirement. Here, the rung diameter, here, this one, must be at least 0.75 inches with 300 pounds load capacity. And here, there must be at least 6 inches of depth for toe spacing and at least 18 inches between the rails. The rung spacing cannot be more than 14 inches. The last rung must be within 24 inches of the upper edge. The side railing must be extended above the parapet of roof edge by at least 30 inches. The illustration shows dimensional requirements for permanent ladder installation. Ladder of over 30 feet in height required offset section and landing at least 18 inches deep and the width of the ladder with 100 pound per square foot load capacity. This for the over additional requirements for permanent ladder. This here for over than 30 feet height. Here there is landing area required 30 inch by 30 inch. And here clearance required 30 inch. And here 15-inch clearance required on both sides. On the climbing side of the ladder, 30 inches of clearance is required on both sides of the ladder. 15 inches of clearance is required from the midpoint of the rung. A landing of 30 inches by 30 inches is required in front of ladder. Fast facts: permanent ladder must have corrosion protection and access to permanent ladder is always required. Roof pitch greater than 3 to 12. Illustration 12E, roof pitch consideration. When a roof has slope greater than 3 to 12 pitch, 25 slope, and the unit is more than 30 inches above grade, a level platform is required on each side of the appliance where service access is required. Condensate disposal, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 307, International Gas Code 2021, Section 307. In Module 3, we talked about the reaction of hydrocarbon fuel with air, producing heat, carbon dioxide, and water.
Condensate and its disposal. If the products of the combustion reaction stay hot enough, the water will stay as a vapor. But if the combustion products cool down, water will condense. That water is the condensate from combustion, and it must be disposed of. The carbon dioxide, along with some other gases that are often created from burning hydrocarbons, dissolve in the water, creating a mixture of carbonic acid and other acids. Because the condensate is acidic, it should be neutralized and handled with corrosion-resistant materials. Also, because of that, it cannot be dumped on roofs or into storm drains. It needs to be discharged to a plumbing fixture.
Code requirement. The condensate drain line size must be at least 3 by 4 inch internal diameter and slope at least 1 per 8 inch for every foot of line. Think about it. An auxiliary drain pan is required where damage to any building component will occur as a result of stoppage in the condensate drainage system. Alternatively, the equipment can be automatically shut down if the primary drain backup condensate pump in uninhabited spaces must connect to the appliance. So when the pump fails, the appliance will be shut down. Temperature control, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 309, temperature condition requirements.
Temperature conditioning requirements. It is a code requirement that interior spaces intended for human occupancy must have heating systems capable of maintaining an indoor temperature of at least 68 degrees Fahrenheit on the design heating day. Portable space heaters do not count.
Defining terms. We use the terms design heating day. This is defined not in our International Mechanical Code but an ASHRAE standard as the coldest day that the heating system is designed around. Design conditions that should be used for hundreds of cities are provided in ASHRAE fundamental books. Fireplace, solid fuel burning, and gas appliances. International Mechanical Code 2021, Chapter 9. International Fuel Gas Code 2021, Chapter 6. International Mechanical Code Chapter 9 and International Fuel Gas Code Chapter 6 both reference specific appliances, as is repeated all throughout the code. Specific appliances typically have a requirement for UL or other listing, and manufacturer installation requirement must be followed. Study tip. You can reference the above sections when needing information about these specifically referenced appliances. There are some other requirements listed in the code for specific appliances that we want to highlight below. Remember, the intent of the code is to protect life and property, so the focus is proper operation and maintenance of equipment. General International Mechanical Code 2021, Chapter 9, Section 901. Think about it. Fireplaces and solid fuel burning appliances should not be installed in hazardous location. For example, fireplace would be dangerous if installed near combustible fumes and or violate volatile liquids like gasoline and petroleum-based solvents and cleaners. Fast facts: solid fuel burning is prohibited in hospitals. Factory-built fireplaces, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 903. Illustration 12F. Hearse extensions. Hearse extension must be distinguishable from the surround floor area with factory-built fireplace. Think about the safety of occupants on this one. Decorative appliances for installation in fireplace. International Fuel Gas Code 2021 Chapter 6 Section 602. Illustration 12G Decorative Appliances. Decorative appliances in solid fuel burning fireplaces required a direct ignition device or an ignitor or a pilot flame to ignite the fuel at the main burner, and a flame safeguard device. The flame safeguard device automatically shut off the fuel supply to the burner when the means of ignition isn't working. Fast facts: manually lit decorative appliances are okay if they have been tested to meet the standard ANSI Z2I.84, the International Gas Code Solid
The
Fuel
IFGC
Burning.
and solid fuel burning? This section can be confusing because you might be asking yourself, why is the IFGC talking about solid fuel burning? Isn't that handled by the IMC? And you'd be right. IFGC doesn't talk about solid fuel burning except for when you are putting a decorative gas appliance inside of a solid fuel burning fireplace, which is what IFGC Section 602 is talking about.
Vented wall furnace, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 909, International Fuel Gas Code 2021, Section 608. Illustration 12H Wall vented furnace. Wall vented furnaces are installed directly onto the wall and produce heat directly from the unit itself, versus using a ducting system are installed directly onto the wall and produce heat directly from the unit itself, versus using a ducted system. The code for vented wall furnace and for furnace is interesting. Many items in the list of requirements are things you would expect for every piece of equipment, yet the authors of these portions of the code authors of this portion of code felt it necessary to call them out specifically for wall furnace. Study tape wall furnace requirement number 1 must be located so they are not a fire hazard. Number 2, located in not circulate air from bathroom to other parts of the building. Number 3, a nearby door cannot swing within 12 inches of an air inlet or outlet measured at right angle to the opening. Doorstop cannot be used to obtain this clearance. Number 4, no ducts can be attached to wall furnace. Number 5, a manual shut-off valve must be installed ahead of all controls. Number 6, access for cleaning, removal, replacement, adjustment, and lubrication must be provided. Number 7, panel for access cannot be attached to the building. Floor furnace, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 910, International Fuel Gas Code 2021, Section 609. Here, this is a floor furnace, illustration 12I, floor furnace. Installed with the floor, this furnace releases the heat that radiates through the room because of obvious dangers. They are not first option when considering heating system installed with the floor. These furnaces heat the room through an opening in the floor because of obvious dangers. They are not the first option when considering heating system, yet we find them still in use and therefore regulated by the building code. Floor furnace requirements. The thermostat for floor furnace must be located in the same space as the furnace unit. Floor furnace cannot be any closer than 6 inches to the wall or a corner, and any drapery or combustible must be at least 12 inches away. Think about it. The code also states that a floor furnace must maintain at least 12 inches clearance on all sides, which seems to make the requirement above a little redundant. There is an 18 inches clearance required on the control side of the unit. Fast facts: floor furnace cannot be installed in doorway, landings, exit, nor in a concrete floor built on grade. Duct furnace: the National Fuel Gas Code 2021 Section 610 Illustration 12J. Duct furnace: while a duct furnace might sound like your typical home furnace, this is referring to furnace installed in line with the duct and are often used for directly or slightly corrosive environment. They don't always have their own fan. Study tip: duct furnace. Ducts connected to the furnace require uh, removal access panels, both upstream and downstream. 2. Controls combustion air inlet and draft hood cannot be located inside the duct. Number 3. Return air must be brought from the same space that supply air is delivered to. Number 4. The furnace need to be on the positive pressure side of the blower. Non-circulating direct fire industrial air heater. International Gas Code 2021 Section 610. The school outside. Makeup air unit here. The cold air enter here. The furnace, it will make it hot air and warm air inside. And this is the exhaust unit. Illustration 12K industrial air heaters. These heaters are often used in large industrial areas where is high ventilation rates would be required anyway. They have been seen in product painting facilities and manufacturing floors, to name a few. Direct fire means that the fuel is being burned in the air that is delivered to the space. Non-circulating means that all air is brought from outside. Understanding practice. So the process is the following: outside air is heated, mixed with the products of combustion, delivered to the space, and then vented back to the outdoor again. Study tip: non-circulating direct fired industrial air heater requirements. 1. Not allowed for areas with sleeping quarters. Number 2, for industrial and commercial occupancies only. Number 3, all air is from the outdoor. Number 4, louvers have to be proven open before the main burners are allowed to operate. Number 5, gas relief and vent lines must go the outdoor. Number 6, overpressurization of the space should be avoided in the system design. Number 7, access is required for the removal of burners, replacement of parts, and for adjustment and lubrication. Number 8, inlet ducting should be purged by 4 air change before an ignition attempt. Recirculating direct fired industrial air heaters. International Fuel Gas Code 2021 Section 612. These are exactly the same as non-circulating units, except some air is brought from inside the space as well as from the outdoor. Concurrently, all of the requirements are the same, with the addition of requirements that concern the use of recirculated air. Think about it: because of the above, these are not suitable for hazardous location, buildings that contain flammable solids, liquids, or gases, explosive material or substances that can become toxic when exposed to flame or heat, recirculating the air from this space to an open flame would have obvious risk to life safety and property. Ventilation must be provided at rate of least 40 fm cubic feet per minute per 1000 BTU per hour or of rated input of the heater. The ventilation has to proven before flame can start or continue to operate. Sauna heater, this is International Mechanical Code. This is an International Mechanical Code 2021 Section 914, International Fuel Gas Code 2021 Section 615. This is a sauna heater. Okay, there is heater inside, and this is the rocks in the top. Illustration 12L sauna heaters. Heaters designed specifically for sauna also have a specific code requirements. These are not applicable to 1 and 2 family dwelling. Study tip. Requirements for sauna heater. The temperature limited by thermostat must be less than 194 Fahrenheit within 6 inches of the ceiling. The timer for the main furnace is limited to a maximum operating time of 1 hour. The control for timer is located outside the sauna. Number 3, a ventilation opening for the sauna room is required at least 4 inch by 8 inch near the top of the door. Number 4, must be located to prevent accidental contact by a person in the room. The combustion air and the draft hood must be outside of the sauna room. Here is a warning: outside the sauna room, don't exceed 30 minutes in sauna. Excessive exposure can be harmful to health. Any person with poor health should consult a physician before using sauna. Illustration 12M, permanent sign outside saunas. This permanent sign with the statements written exactly above must be displayed on the outside of the sauna. Engine and gas turbine powered equipment. International Fuel Gas 2021 Section 616. Here, this illustration 12N, internal combustion engines and turbines. Equipment powered by internal combustion engine and turbine should not be rigidly connected to the gas supply piping. Think about it. Not connecting rigid gas piping to engines and turbines is a good example of statements that can be uh, generalizing to include any rotating or vibrating pieces of equipment. This idea is to eliminate the possibility of a gas pipe breaking or leaking. Forced air, warm air furnace, International Mechanical Code Section 918 and the International Gas Code 2021 Section 618. Here, this illustration 12O, forced air warm air furnace. Forced air warm air furnace are the typical residential single-family dwelling heating appliances. Most of the requirements have to do with return and
Requirements on
outdoor.
circulating air. The code does not allow these furnaces to have a volume damper on the air inlet. Remember that a volume damper limits the air to the furnace. And circulating air must be brought into the furnace through continuous airtight ducts and taken to the supply area by continuous airtight ducts as well.
Outdoor or return air has restrictions. It cannot be pulled from the following circumstances. Study tip: limitation on outdoor air return. Number one, cannot be pulled within 10 feet of a vent outlet, plumbing vent, exhaust, and discharge unless the outlet is 3 feet above the inlet. Number two, cannot be pulled where there are odors, fumes, or flammable vapors. Number three, cannot be pulled with 10 feet of public way or driveway. Number four, cannot be pulled from hazardous or incendiary location or a refrigeration machinery room. Number five, cannot be pulled from room whose volume is less than 25% of the total volume served by the system, except where the return is balanced with the supply to that room. Number six, cannot be pulled from a closet, bathroom, toilet room, kitchen, unless 10 feet away from cooking appliances and serve the kitchen area, garage, boiler room, furnace room, or unconditioned attic. Here, this illustration 12b screen requirements for air inlets. Outdoor air inlets required a screen of quarter-inch openings for residential of from quarter-inch to 1 inch for non-residential. Fast facts: return air from one dwelling unit cannot be discharged in another dwelling unit. Unit heaters, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 920. International Gas Code 2021, Section 620. Illustration 12Q unit heaters. Many types of unit heaters are in use. The International Mechanical Code will be concerned with electric and hot water unit heaters, while the International Gas Code addresses gas-fired unit heaters. Only the first requirements in the list below is from International Mechanical Code. The rest of the requirements are for gas-fired units from International Gas Code. Study tape requirements of unit heaters. Number one, unit heaters cannot be attached to warm air duct system unless listed for it. Number two, suspended type units required clearance to combustible of 18-inch on sides, 12 inches on bottom, and 1 inch above the top of the sloping side of the draft hood. Number three, floor mounted unit required clearance to combustible of 6 inches at the back and 6 inches to the one side. Only unit listed for it can be installed on combustible floors. Unvented room heaters, International Gas Code 2021, Section 621. This unvented, this illustration 12 are unvented heaters. Unvented room heaters are typically used as a backup or supplemental heat source and often can run without electricity for power outage or emergency situation. Similar to direct fire heaters, they are not vented but with more limitation that allow them to be installed in more building types. Study tip requirements of unvented room heaters. Number one, cannot be used sole source of heating in a dwelling unit. Number two, cannot be larger than 40,000 BTU per hour. Number three, cannot be cannot be in occupancies in Group A, Assembly, E, Educational, or I, Industrial. All unvented appliances in a room cannot add up to more than 20 BTU per hour cubic foot of the space. Number five, must have an oxygen depletion sensitive safety shut off system that will shut off the unit when the room falls below an oxygen level of 18%. Cooking appliances, International Mechanical Code 2021, Section 917, International Gas Code 2021, Section 623. The following cooking appliances requirements come directly from the International Gas Code. Read through them after you read through Section 623 in the code. Study tape, cooking appliances code requirements in the International Gas Code Number one, cooking appliances in dwelling unit must be listed for domestic use. Number two, domestic ranges on combustible floors require paste or legs to maintain clearance. Number three, a ventilating hood required above an open top boiler unit, minimum clearance of 24 inches between cooking top and combustible. Number four, household appliances require 30 inches above the cooktop to combustible material and metal cabinet. 24 inches is allowed if protected with a hood. Upper appliances such as microwave. Gas-fired toilets, International Fuel Gas Code 2021, Section 626. Here, illustration 12S, gas-fired toilets. These toilets incinerate your waste without the need of being connected to plumbing system. The International Gas Code specifies these because of few unique requirements from the use of gas. Illuminating appliances is International Fuel Gas Code 2021 Section 628. This here the illuminating these gas lights. Illustration 20 gas lights. Gas lights provide light without electricity. In this code section, there are discussed along with the regulation, radiant heating system, International Mechanical Code 2021 Section 927. Here, illustration 12 view radiant heating. Radiant heating systems supply heat directly to the floor or to the panel in a wall or ceiling. It can be more efficient than forced air heating because it eliminates duct losses and the air temperature does not need to be as high to feel comfortable. Wood or steel framing code requirements for radiant
Wood
panel
or
are
steel
tailored
framing
because
requirements.
based
When
on
installed on wood or
where
steel
they
framing,
are
the
installed.
heating panels must be installed parallel to framing members and either secured to the surface of framing members or mounted between framing members. Mechanical fasteners can penetrate only unheated portions and not at any point closer than 1/4 of an inch to an element.
Fast facts: unless listed for field cutting, heating panels are to be installed as complete units, concrete or masonry. Radiant heating system installed in concrete or masonry must be identified as being suitable for installation in this location. Illustration 12V, expansion joints, panels in concrete or masonry cannot be installed bringing expansion joints unless they are protected from expansion and contraction. Infrared radiant heater in International Fuel Gas Code 2021 Section 630. Illustration 12W gas-fired infrared radiant heater. Gas-fired infrared heater use propane, natural gas, or oil as fuel sources and radiate heat to objects of people below. Usually, these are mounted in higher location to heat subject below. Study tape requirements of gas-fired infrared radiant heater. Number one must be fixed in an position independent of gas and electricity and electric supply lines. Number two, hangers and brackets must be uncombustible. Number three, if unvented ventilation, air must be provided at least 4 CFM per 1000 BTU. Exhaust opening must be above the heater. Safety inspection procedure. International Gas 2021 Appendix D. Appendix D provides procedures for testing and inspecting existing gas appliances and installation for safe operation. We won't be covering it in module, but it is good to know where to go for the resource on existing appliance inspection. Let's see the quiz. The quiz question number one: an appliance installed below concrete slab on grade should be installed at least how far above the pit floor? It will be 3 inches. So next question, which of the following can be an approved location of condensate disposal? Cooling coil condensate being discharged on the roof. What is the closest mechanical fasteners can be to an element of radiant heating panel installed on steel framing? It's quarter inch. What is the clearance required on the sides of suspending type gas-fired unit heaters? It's 18 inch. The clearance from floor furnace to a wall is 12 inch. So we finish here the module number 12, heating appliances. The next module, it will be boilers and water heaters. This module number 13.